Grandmama used to pray, oh Lord, please save them from the evil snares and all the dangers that entangle. Yea, though they walking through the valley of the shadows, just prepare and make them fit for every battle, because I know they bound to come, and I know they bound to fall, but in your bounty, Lord, preserve their beautiful. Right, we still surviving off of grandma's prayers, surrounded by the jungle and the lion's den. Tread light, cause these traps is inconspicuous. They hide right in plain sight, thinking we don't see them when they linger. Look right beneath the surface, then leave a trail of corpses. Crisis, prices, your life a disposable commodity. Like living in a fantasy, conditioned to believe that the system even cares. Whether selling CDs or walking or driving or reading, look, they don't even need a reason. It's just you breathing and being black. When it's such a pretty fall, it don't seem like we falling at all, at all. It's just a GMO dream, where things are never really what they seem. Please cue the violins, tell them just to play me something pretty, cause this gritty city got me screaming bloody murder. Said it got me screaming. This gritty city got me on some. Look, get your hand up on my pocket. Distraction, so lazy they use the same tactics. Like condom with some trinkets, just don't let them get to thinking. That light bulb gets a blinking. You know niggas and ideas. Oh dear, my dear, you may not know me, but I know you very well. Foresight, they say hindsight is 2020. Well, tell me something, we gotta see that history is on repeat. And maybe it takes a beat and a melody to speak a little louder than the message in the clouds or the essence in the air. I swear, my God is just so clear that a system driven by fear can never give us nothing but more of the same things. Oh, when it's such a pretty fall, it don't seem like we falling at all. It's just a GMO dream, where things are never really what they seem. Please cue the violins, tell them just to play me something pretty, cause this gritty city got me screaming. It's murder. Got me screaming, got me. This gritty city got me on some.
What's happening, good people? We are live and direct. This is RSTV on Black Power Media. You're checking out RSTV on Black Power Media. If you hear me, put a thumbs up in the air. Let's go. This is RSTV Black Power Media. It's a very special show we have here today. Situation going on in Atlanta. It's been happening for the last year and a half and counting. Situation with a young artist, young rapper by the name of Young Thug. Of course, unless you've been under a rock, you know that November 27, 2023, a trial began, which followed from a May 2022 indictment, where 28 individuals associated with YSL were charged under the Racketeering, Influence, and Corrupt Organizations Act, also known as RICO. And for folks who are familiar with RICO, we know that RICO is something that was initially initiated for quote unquote organized crime. It started out with the mafia, and then they targeted a number of different Black organizations, freedom fighting organizations, including the Black Panther Party. Today, on this particular program, most of our audience, they know us for bringing on political work, and every now and then we bring on different artists. Of course, this is a spot you've seen the Killer Mikes, the TIs, and so on and so forth. Tonight, we wanted to reach out to one of our fellow freedom fighters, someone that's in the courtroom, that's been in the courtroom from day one, someone that's been putting in work and keeping us abreast. And, you know, someone that one of my OGs reached out to me about this. Like, look, you got to get with Infamous Sylvia. I'm like, Infamous Sylvia? I'm like, who the fuck is Infamous Sylvia? He's like, Infamous Sylvia is the go-to. She the GOAT. See who you need to talk to if you're going to talk about Young Thug. So I was like, all right, well, let's link up with Infamous Sylvia and see what's good. And today, we did just that. So tonight, I want to introduce to my audience a good sister and this won't be her first time. Excuse me, it's her first time, but it won't be her last time here at RCTV. We decided we're going to make sure that we keep it updated on both sides of the track. Tonight we have Infamous Sylvia. What's happening, Infamous Sylvia? How you feeling?
I'm doing fine, Kalaji. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. You looking like you've been in the courtroom all day. You quiet and
I have.
Okay. For folks who aren't familiar with you, because for you to come on here, they call me the riot starter, and then I bring on someone called Infamous. Then we shit. That sounds like a RICO charge right there. Sound like we out of order. You know what I mean? We don't want to get indicted, but it's all good. We know what the state does, and part of the reason is I was just saying behind the scenes that we wanted to bring you on. Of course, my work and my organization and our platform, we deal primarily with political situations, right? And there's some people in the audience going to be like, well, what Young Thug got to be with politics? Everything is political. Everything is political. The way we walk, the way we talk, the way we move, all of that's political. And if you don't know it, the government can properly put things in perspective for you. For folks who are not familiar with you, give us a little bit of background and tell us what drew you towards this particular case.
My name is Sylvia Parks Tumasimi, also known as Infamous Sylvia. I've been doing this type of work, going to court cases since 2019. I started with the R. Kelly case, and I've done quite a few high-profile cases. But what drew me to this case is I recognized some of the injustice that was going on, and some of the stuff that was, like stuff that didn't make sense. It didn't fit the bill for me. And I started investigating and started checking things out and started talking to the people. And I realized that the RICO that they're being charged with is because they lived in the same neighborhood. And it was kind of weird. And the deeper I got in, the more I saw the injustice that was going on in the whole case. I can't hear you. You muted.
Look at that. I got so excited I muted myself. I want to hear what you had to say. So basically you're saying in your observation, you're saying, okay, these brothers was from the same neighborhood, and the state said, okay, this is an organized criminal situation, so on and so forth, and there's some type of conspiracy, and we're gonna crack down on them. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, even with the definition of them putting them as a gang, they said it's a hybrid gang. I've never heard of a hybrid gang. Either you're a gang or you're not.
Right. A hybrid gang.
A hybrid, because there's no formal booklet of rules and regulation of that particular organization. So they say it's a hybrid.
Yeah. So they always say, like, if you're black and you're in a corner, you got 3 or more people with you, then they qualify that as a gang. So I guess for them, they're in that tradition. From what you've observed, and of course, shout out to our comrade Marva, who basically told me if I don't get my ass together on this Young Thug case, we're gonna have some problems and whatnot. and one of the things that she talked about, she compared this case to the Panther 21 case. And the Panther 21, for folks who aren't familiar, there's 21 members of the Black Panther Party who was indicted in the early 70s, and they were under RICO charges as well. And basically, the state tried to railroad them, and it backfired. And they found out that that case was bullshit, pretty much like what's going on here. That case, included folks like Afeni Shakur, who was the mother of Tupac Shakur, Dharuba Ben Wahad, Sekou Odinga, and a number of other different freedom fighters from that particular era who are still doing work today. But she compared this case to it because she said it's very political and there's a lot going on with it. And of course, we being in Atlanta area, we know there's always some politics and bullshit. And as our comrade says, the slaves run the plantation here. People get it twisted and they say, well, it's a black city and you got, a black prosecutor and a black mayor, so on and so forth. Let's talk about that. This case right here, from what you're seeing, how did it come about?
Came about, I believe it's some sort of personal vendetta that the prosecutor had, and it stemmed from relationships, allegedly, relationship that she had formed, and she felt she wanted revenge. That's what I have seen, and that revenge is to go after this young man, and he's the so-called the leader of the pack.
When you say she, because again, there's folks that's checking us out. They don't know nothing about Atlanta. We got folks from all over the world. Who is this she? Because it's Black Girl Magic. Who we talking about here?
Fonnie Willis.
Fonnie Willis, and Fonnie Willis is
the district attorney of the Fulton County.
Okay, and Fonnie Willis, for folks who are not familiar, this is the same DA who attempted to bring the charges up on former president and presidential candidate Donald Trump, correct? Okay, so you're saying, okay, boom, you feel that it's a act of vengeance due to some type of relationship form. What are some of the charges? Because again, we're talking about RICO, so we know that it's not just, they're not just saying, okay, they were standing on the corner with their pants hanging down. What are some of the charges that they brought up?
They have 2 murders on there. They have gun possession from convicted felons. They have small amount of drugs, not enough for it to be like a sell. They said distribution and selling, soliciting and distribution. Not enough. I mean, from the evidence that they have spoken about, there have been small amount, not even enough to say it's some sort of racketeering conspiracy type of thing.
Okay. So Young Thug, the world knows him as an artist. The government's painting him as a criminal, and of course we know that anytime you move in any type of way, you're a criminal here in this criminal establishment. Who is he? Like, you know what I'm saying? As far as you would be concerned, like from your observation as the artist or whatever, like, because I think that one of the things that was amazing about this particular case is that they used hip hop lyrics, and they tried to say, okay, boom, right here, he's saying this or they're saying that, so on and so forth. From your observation, do you see this? I mean, who is this brother? Is he an artist? Is he the Don of the streets? Like what do you see?
He's an artist. And even his demeanor in the courtroom, daily demeanor, you can see that you could tell he's doing some sort of artistry in his head. Because even when they first started, he would have his headphone on and you could tell he was writing some sort of lyrics. And it's always some musical thing that's going on with him. That's what I see most of the time. And he does not even seem like that he would hurt a fly. I'm not saying he can't, but he just doesn't seem like that to me. He's very playful, and he's likable.
Right. So the government is saying that YSL is, and as you said, a hybrid gang. And I never heard nothing like that in my life. That sounds like, like some new age shit that maybe I'm too old or I ain't cool enough to know what a hybrid gang is. That sounds like a vegan gang or some shit. Like everybody, yeah, like everybody drinking alkaline water and eating vegetables and whatnot, and they just hybrid gangs and whatnot. But with that being said, there's 28 people that were indicted. Is that correct?
Originally, it was 28.
Okay. And the case has been colorful. It's been, to my understanding, the defense hasn't even taken a stand yet. Is that correct?
Defense, no, it has not. No,
Okay.
we're in the 19th, 20th month of this trial. The jury selection part took about 10 months.
Okay. Now there's been a changing of judges, so on and so forth. Can you speak on that? Because it's been a whole lot of, it's not just a, You know, I know you relax. You look like you're in relaxed mode right now. We gonna wake your ass up on here tonight, though. these judges, the judges have switched everything. What's going on? Because it's you know.
Well, it started out with Judge Glanville. He is the chief judge of the Fulton County Superior Court. He was the one that originally was on the case. Because of this ex parte meeting that he had with a sworn witness, that became a big deal because the defense team did not know anything about it. They brought it to the attention of the court, and then one of the attorneys was placed in contempt, and he was arrested, and a lot of stuff went on, and eventually they had a ruling that he would have to be removed from the case, and that's what happened. By another judge had him to be recused from the case.
Okay, so they were doing some backdoor things, and I know there was a situation where Young Thug's attorney ends up getting a contempt charge. Yeah. How did that come about?
Because he announced that the information that he had received from the ex parte meeting. And so when he brought it out, the judge wanted to know, where did he get the information from? Who told him? And he refused. He was not a snitch. So he did not tell him where it was coming from. And so the judge gave him a couple of warnings and made a threat, and then he got arrested because he refused to give him the information.
So for clarity, the judge, he was in the wrong out the gate because he doing sidebars and he's meeting with folks behind the scenes, so on and so forth, similar to what went on with a number of the different Panther cases, so on and so forth. How is it legal for him to say, okay, well, you're not going to tell me who told you that we was on some bullshit over here, so we're going to put you in contempt? How does that work? I mean,
well, the findings from the other judge basically say he didn't do any wrong. Where he went wrong was when he decided to defend himself. And that's what, that's where they decided, for him to be recused. But allegedly, they claim it's not, he did nothing wrong, because they have a right to have an ex parte meeting. But here's the thing. He was a sworn witness on a stand. And so therefore the defense should have been part of that ex parte.
Okay. So we have this situation going on. You have the state produced about how many witnesses so far, would you say?
Last time, I would say about 60, I would say now, about
60 witnesses.
Yeah, because it was 49 at one point, and a couple of them have come through. So I'm just going to give a light number of about 60.
That's a light number. So you're talking about 60 state
might be less, but I'm going to say 60.
Right. Okay, so that's 60. That's just from the state. And again, you said the defense haven't even produced anything yet.
Yeah, and the state have, I think, another 23 to go because they added some. It was supposed to be 90 something, but they added additional one in there because they said that they had took some out and they may have to bring them back because they realized some of the parts of the case cannot be talked about until they bring those witnesses in. So they brought them right back in there.
Wow. Now you've been following court cases for a while.
For my whole life, but actively going to the court, sitting and bringing information back to the people, 5 years now.
Okay, in your 5 years, have you witnessed anything similar to this particular case?
Well, as far as RICO, RICO, yeah, I saw it with R. Kelly because R. Kelly was the only person that they put a RICO on.
Okay. Folks have been catching the internet. There's always clips popping up, and again, we thank you because we know you've been on it. You know what I'm saying? You've been on. I don't know how you do it every day, but you've been getting down. rain, sleet, snow, whatever the case is. There's been some colorful witnesses. Everybody talking about Lil Woody. Everywhere we go, people showing me clips. I'm like, who the fuck is Lil Woody? Lil Woody here, Lil Woody there, Lil Woody sightings. Who is Little Woody, and what does he mean in this case? Because we've caught some clips, but it's a very interesting situation. So how does he fit into this?
Little Woody is considered to be the person that people call him the rat, the snitch, the one who brought this case about, because he was getting in trouble and on his own, and they were looking for Jeffrey, so he gave him Jeffrey to get himself out of trouble. So he, dangled the carrot. Hey, I got Jeffrey for you. If you let me have this, here he is. So there's my word in it, but that's how it came about. They saying the case came about because Woody is the one they kept bringing in as an informant. He was talking to the police and giving them information, but he was making up information. He was lying. He was like, he would take a little something that is true and put a whole bunch of lies with it. So, and they claimed they went to verify some of that information he was given, and they picked up the guys based on the information what he was given.
Okay, so they saying he's a snitch, but he's snitching he's just snitching just to talk, just to get himself off, basically, is what you're saying. So.
And then I found out there was other people talking as well.
So it wasn't just him. He's just the most colorful character that we've been seeing.
Yeah, the most colorful one.
Okay, so are they taking him seriously, or what's the situation? Because I've seen a couple of the clips where they're asking him questions, and it seems like they're more confused after he answered the questions than they were before he even started. I mean,
the funny thing is, majority of their main witnesses have been impeached by the people who brought him on. So they all been impeached, meaning that they told some inconsistency that they saying, hey, you're a liar.
So how's the case looking for you right now? Do you see any I mean, it seems like it has more holes in it than a sponge. It seems like everything is, it seems like a long nightmare. I mean, what's your?
It's definitely a long nightmare, because once you hear one testimony, you're like, oh, that's a lie. And it seems like everyone tells a different story. You have police officers come in there, they don't have reports, but then they're saying things that's supposed to have been in the report, but the report's not anywhere to be found. Then you have other officers coming in and they don't remember anything, but they have to look at their notes to everything. Like the one today, this guy, he didn't have a clue. He's not even a police officer anymore, but he had to read throughout the whole time he was reading his notes. And if you had asked him a question, he wasn't even able to answer. He would have to refer back to his notes.
Wow. So it's just okay. That's how we're looking at it. Like I said, you're in the middle of the scene, and I don't know how you do it. It seems like it's a cross between a comedy show and some type of what they used to call, they used to have this joint candid camera back in the day.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah, the clips I'm watching, I'm like, this shit can't be serious. This has to be like some type of, and that's one of the reasons I'm like, we gotta get Sylvia on here, because this can't be what it looks like. Okay, so yeah. So again, we talked about again, we can say it looks like a joke, but of course we know that people's lives are at stake right now. People's their freedom is at stake. And I think that, correct me if I'm wrong, it seems like the fact that you're dealing with young rappers, that I think they thought it was going to be an easy victory, and that it was going to come in, sweep it up, and sidetrack what's really going on here in Atlanta. I understand that Young Thug was living in Buckhead, and then of course Buckhead was going through some different political changes, and there's some people that suspect that the sweeping of YSL may have had something to do with those type politics as well. What's your thoughts on that?
I agree, because once he got the ability to get he was gifted 100 acres of land in that area. And so he was about to build a community and have different people's lives change. And that's a problem. That's a problem, because that means that this man's going to have not only the wealth, but the influence. And a Black man having that type of power, no.
So you're saying he was gifted 100 acres of land, and where was this at?
It's in the area like the Buckhead further out, where the land is. So I don't know exactly where it's located, but I heard it's up that way.
Now that's real interesting, because I can remember back in the day, Wesley Snipes, he had bought some land across the street from Dr. York down in another part of Georgia, and one of the things he talked about was training folks and putting together some Black security force or military force. And soon as that started going into effect, it was like, oh, tax evasion.
Mm-hmm.
And they sack them. 100 acres of land owned by a rapper who is known as Young Thug. I can only imagine the fear that white folks would have, and also possible inspiration that other, artists and young Black folks may have, had if he was able to pull something like this off. So yeah, I can see where politically we could have some tie-in with that. Again, they labeled YSL gang. What does YSL mean for folks who are just checking it out? Because we've got like 30 different versions and whatnot. What are the brothers saying YSL is?
A record label.
A record label. Okay.
Record.
Word. So they're calling it a gang. YSL, they're saying it's the record label. What are again, we're seeing that this case is going a little bit longer than expected. I think you said we're going on 19 months right now.
Over 19 months. We completed 19 months because it started January 2023. January 4th, in fact, January 4th, 2023.
So so we're talking about 2 years easy.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow.
And there's a lot of twists and turns. Like, for example, even as of this morning, one of their witnesses is supposed to be the person that told Woody certain things, and there's some wiretap calls that they're trying to get in, and this witness is very sickly. He has sickle cell, and he was just leaving the hospital, and they arrested him and held him in as a material witness, put him in Rice Street. He got sick, ended up getting pneumonia. Now he's in the hospital. They want him so bad that they had his attorney went there, and they had one of the investigators go with the attorney so he can hear what the doctor says. And so as soon as he is released, he has to come back to court and testify.
So that's not a violation of his HIPAA laws? I mean, you're talking about, when you're talking about medical laws, acts, procedures, and whatnot, that's when did it become legal for you to see what the doctor has to say? So they're looking, you're saying this man has pneumonia and sickle cell and could possibly bleed deathly. And they're like, we don't care nothing about that. We want to know what he's talking about. We want to know if he got anything to say, so on and so forth. So they still want him on the witness stand.
Yeah, and the judge ruled on behalf of the state for him to come to the court as soon as he's released from the hospital.
Wow.
And the DA will not release the warrant. So he's bound to have, if he doesn't come, he's still going to go back to Rice Street.
This is amazing. My younger brother transitioned from pneumonia in the hospital, right? So for him to have sickle cell and pneumonia, and they're not even, I mean, there's not a pass or nothing, and they still like, you know, this is it's insane and egregious on so many levels. I just couldn't imagine if White Boy Roy, you understand what I'm saying, was a witness that this type of treatment would be allowed. I mean, this is the most insane thing that I can imagine. Man, that's crazy on so many levels. Where do we go from here? What do you see happening over the next few days? You know, I know that, you know, as you mentioned this, I mean, you just messed me up with that piece right there. I'm like, mind blown. But you mentioned that situation there as far as the witness. To my understanding, there's been a few witnesses who have made their transitions or died since this case began. Is that correct?
Well, he was supposed to be a defense witness, which is Rich Homie Kwan.
Right.
Yeah, he passed away.
Right. Okay. And his funeral was just yesterday, basically.
Yeah, it was yesterday.
Okay. And what role was he to play in this particular situation?
Because supposedly there was some sort of beef or disagreement between him and Jeffrey. But the reality of it was that they didn't have any beef. It was more commercialized. You know how rappers do that stuff. They act like they have some sort of beef so the record sale could go up and things like that. They were doing a lot of that stuff on social media.
Word. Well, listen, we you know, I know you've been working hard in these courtrooms, and you look like you know, like you kind of tied up in this motherfucker tonight. So would you force the gun today? So you know what I'm saying? I'm happy.
I'm good.
Okay. I'm just checking. I don't want you to know.
I'm good.
Okay. I don't want Marvin.
It makes the time fly by, and I see it flying by, so I'm good.
Okay. I don't want no problems. What are some of the, because I know that part of what you've been trying to do is get the word out, which is grand. You know what I'm saying? I know that you know, you have a great audience. I see some of them in the chat right now. They like, go Sylvia. Yeah, don't let them say nothing to you, girl. They like, you know what I'm saying? You got like the instead of the beehive, you got the infamous hive.
Infamous family. It's the
infamous family. Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Okay. They up in here. They throwing signs up and everything. That's cool. I'm with y'all. We safe. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. But you know, one of the things that we had talked about in prior convos was the whole aspect of organizing, because you felt that, you know, this case needs to be heard and he needs to have the same attention as some of these freedom fighters, so on and so forth. Again, tonight we have a very mixed audience, which is a beautiful thing, because that's how we like it. You know what I'm saying? We like to, because oftentimes you got folks that try to separate things. You got the quote unquote conscious community, and you got the this and the that, so on and so forth. At the end of the day, you know, the state looks at you as one thing, and that's niggas. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, so we clear about that. So I feel at home, you know, just being able to see folks who are here to in support of Young Thug and this crew. One of the things, like I said, you talked about was organizing around this, building a campaign. Why is that important? Why is that important?
Because the injustice that is happening, and I see people doing a lot of rah-rah on the internet, talking and acting like they're so furious about what's happening. But I don't see any action behind it. And the thing is, it might be them today. It's going to be somebody close to you and your family later on. Because if they could do it to somebody that has money, who has the resources, you can imagine what they can do to you. Because once they set this precedent, it's no stopping.
No doubt. So where for the record, I'm gonna say this here now for the folks that's in the chat. We're gonna get together every Wednesday, around this time, 8 p.m. Eastern. We cool with that, Infamous?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna get together, and it's gonna be a little more political. We're gonna dig a little deeper into it. We wanted to do more like an introductory piece tonight because we want the audiences to know what's happening, and indeed, it's absolutely necessary to organize, because it's not a question of guilt or innocence. We have to understand that when we're talking about the state, the judicial system, the quote unquote justice system is absolutely, totally not designed to work in the interest of Black people, period. You know what I mean? So as you stated, it can be Young Thug today, and it might be Little Bobby tomorrow. You understand what I'm saying? It might be Young Thug today, and it might be, one of you in the chat tomorrow. That's how the state get down. And folks are confused into thinking that because you live in a Black city, you get some type of feel good. They get caught up in, as H. Rap Brown would say, he'd say to be Black is necessary, but it's not sufficient. When they're coming for you, they're going to send folks that look just like you. Now, some of the cops might look white, but the DA, the mayor, and some of these other players in it, they don't give two shits about a Young Thug, because of the fact that Young Thug hasn't been bought. He's not going to go along with the status quo. He ain't trying to, run for office. He ain't looking for no type of accolades. To me, from what I'm seeing and what I've been hearing, he's for a certain type of demographic.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He's for folks, that relate to what it is he's saying. So on that alone, we have to be able to say, how do we tap in and we save the children, period? Because the fact is, he's young enough to be either one of our children.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I have children older than Young Thug. So it's not a situation where we just saying, we this some rapper and we like his music. I don't give a damn about none of that. That ain't what I'm talking about. We're talking about how do we operate in an unjust system? How do we stop the criminalization of not only Black youth, but art, period? Because when they can say they can just tap into your lyrics and you can go to prison. Well, shit, what about Ozzy Osbourne and some of these white boys, those biting bats' heads off and all kinds of other shit? You know what I'm saying? What about some of these wild ass grunge bands that's talking about lynching niggas?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't hear that. You turned a deaf ear. But they're going to send someone like a Fani Willis. And of course, we saw her dancing a few months ago. And unfortunately, our people, as much as we love them, they get so caught up into the complexion.
Yeah.
And any Black woman, you better not say a goddamn thing if they're a Black woman. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter what she did. We're not talking about, no one had a problem when she didn't indict those cops who murdered the young brother on the West End in the Pittsburgh area.
Yep.
She had no problem with not indicting them because of the fact that they're police and they represent a certain position, a certain role in this society. And that particular role is to keep folks oppressed. And this situation right here is totally, absolutely, beyond a shadow of a doubt, about politics and bullshit. This is about control. Right now, they're working on this Cop City situation here in Atlanta, as many folks know. And that right there, it's not just about, them building up what's going on with local police. These are cops who are being trained by Israeli forces. They have what you call the Gilly program that's located right on the Georgia State campus inside of the Andrew Young Policy Center. Andrew Young, who rode with King. That's where this particular center on Georgia State, they have Israeli soldiers that come to Georgia, and Georgia cops going to Israel every year for the last 30 plus years to train them how to kill. So the same folks who are destroying and decimating Palestine, they're doing the same thing in Atlanta and other places. But it goes beyond that. You also talk about the School of Americas. So this is an international situation. So Young Thug and folks like this, They're the local. They're at the bottom feeders. It don't matter how much money you have, you still nigga in their eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we're not here to cop a plea. You know, I see someone in the chat asking me if the music is art. That's not. I'm not here to do that. That's not my role. You know, to each his own. Whatever individuals feel they do, they do. I respect anyone that's serious about their craft. At the end of the day, we have to recognize that this particular system, regardless of if you have a black president or you got a black woman president or you got a black mayor or a black woman mayor, none of that shit matters at the end of the day. As cool as some of y'all think Andre Dickens is, when it comes to that loot, all that black shit go out the window.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's about domination. That's what it's about. Anyway, you're checking out Black Power Media. We live and direct with infamous Sylvia, and we happy to have her on here today. She now woke up. Y'all better watch out right now. She ain't playing. She look like she ready to get lit. I said, how much time we got, Sylvia? She said, what we said, 10 minutes? I said, no, we ain't saying goddamn 10 minutes, Sylvia. Give me what you gave the courtroom. But anyway.
Oh, that's 8 hours. Woo.
Hey man, look here, man. Shit, you know, that's your fault. You could have split the time. But anyway, all bullshit aside, man. Again, make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you tune in next Wednesday. We'll be back. We're going to be going a little bit deeper. We may bring on a guest or two because we want to get to the bottom of this thing. We want to talk about how do we organize beyond the internet? Because as Sylvia said, folks will come out. They'll be all up in the chat. They'll be all up on the screen, so on and so forth. But when they come to that energy of being out and about and talking about what's really going on, then sometimes we forget that, you know, there's a responsibility beyond this right here. You know,
I think most people are afraid.
I agree with that. I agree with that. So we got to get them unafraid.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and indeed, most people are afraid. You should be. This is a ruthless government. This is a ruthless system. You know what I'm saying? In fact, I don't know if you could talk about it, but I understand that you had some issues in the courtroom recently.
I stay with issues in the courtroom.
How the hell you get on my show talking about?
I ain't afraid. That's the problem. I'm not afraid.
Can we talk about that a little bit? Because what was the issue? Because I know my folks like, I she gonna come on your show after she had issues in the courtroom. No, she not lost her damn mind. She really gonna have issues in the courtroom. You looking for a problem.
What happened is, I was using nicknames to name the jurors so people wouldn't know who the jurors were. And so they got offended. Somebody got offended and I got called into the principal's office.
I don't even want to know what the nicknames was because
I'm not even gonna bring that's a sore spot, so I'm not even gonna
remember. Yeah, I ain't even gonna ask you because I already know you was talking some shit. So I mean, of course they was offended. I can only imagine some of the things you call the people. But anyway, but nah, like I said, I'm definitely again, man, to the folks who are in the chat right now and the folks who will be watching this later, Dr. King said there comes a time when silence becomes betrayal.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? You cannot, we can't just walk like cowards because of the fact that what ends up happening is they will continue to crush us. You know, we have what we call the nigger machine. The industry will set you up for failure. You understand what I'm saying? The industry will pay you to self-destruct. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that that's what happened here, but the thing is, one of the things that we realize is oftentimes when we don't have certain resources, so on and so forth, that check come along and these checks start happening, we feel good and we emulate white folks. See, white folks are gangster by nature. This country was created by gangsters. You know what I'm saying? This country was not created, but it was established. It was taken by kidnappers, rapers, robbers, thieves, etc. These same rapers, robbers, thieves, these are the folks who are judging the young thugs and whatnot right now. These are the folks who will judge you if you don't get on the right side of the barricade. But anyway, I want to thank you Sylvia, for coming on tonight. We're looking forward to future joints. You're gonna be woke next week. We ain't starting no shit. Okay. She's like, I am woke. I'm just messing with you, Sylvia.
I do want to recognize a young lady in here. Her name is Impress.
Okay.
She was out there by herself with the sign protesting by herself 2 days in a row.
Her name is Impress.
Impress Fox in here.
Well, Impress Fox, we appreciate you, and hopefully we'll see you out there. Hopefully we'll be joining you out there, and salute to all the good folks out there who are trying to stand for what's right. And as Sylvia said, yeah, you should be afraid. You don't have to be afraid, but sometimes fear is an intelligent thing. If you meet someone that has no fear at all, then you got a problem. You know what I'm saying? They might not be wrapped too tight. They might walk through a situation and get everybody messed up. But we want to make sure that we stay in tune. Self-criticism, I had to step back myself and say, okay, boom, I was so busy with so many other things that was going on that I was letting this thing slip through the crack. But no more. We on it. We're gonna stay in touch. We're gonna stay tuned. And we appreciate you all, like I said, tapping in, tuning in last minute. Catch us for the next several Wednesdays. We're going to keep this thing going. We're going to keep it moving. We're going to break this thing down. And when we finish, they ain't going to be scared no more, Sylvia.
Ain't gonna be scared.
Man, listen, they're going to beat you to the courtroom. You might not have a seat. You're going to be outside holding the sign like, damn, y'all ain't even let me in. But keep doing what you're doing. Like I said, we appreciate your work. We appreciate, our comrade Marva, who put the fire to both of us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna give you all the full backstory. We're gonna leave it at that right now. But definitely appreciate what you're doing, and we're looking forward. What's your channel so folks can tune in?
It's Infamous Sylvia, exactly the way it's spelled.
See, look at that.
And famous.
Okay, and famous, Infamous Sylvia. Make sure y'all subscribe for the daily coverage from Infamous Sylvia. Go to her channel if you're not there already. It's on YouTube. Subscribe here, Black Power Media as well. Of course, we deal with critical political work every single day. And, again, I'm excited about having Sylvia on board. And hopefully together we can make some moves beyond YouTube.
That's right.
No doubt. Be safe, Sylvia. Appreciate you.
Bye.
No doubt. Take it easy. Get your rest. And we will see you soon.
I will. Have a good one.
Bye,
too. Everybody.
Peace. Yes. You're checking out RSTV. This is Black Power Media. We appreciate you all for tapping in tonight. Make sure, again, that you subscribe to the platform if you haven't already. Make sure you continue to follow the work that we're doing. This is a channel that you'll see everyone from a Cornel West to a Killer Mike, from the Black Panther Party to the Black Liberation Army, so on and so forth. This is Black Power Media Reloaded is how you can find us on YouTube, Black Power Media Reloaded. You can also join our email list, which is blackpowermedia.org. Go to blackpowermedia.org. We have a brand new magazine out as well. The magazine is called AfroPic, AFROPIQ. Appreciate you all coming on. Stay tuned, stay black, and stay on point. RSTV, Black Power Media, we out.
Sometimes the riot is a quiet one, where the battle is to love yourself and function in society, where voices of reason are muted by anxiety, like gaining notoriety is selling your soul. So we tend to go no deeper than the shallow water level, trying to keep us overhead in the face of all the slurs and the stares, mentally frozen, paralyzed by fear of failure and success. So we lock, stock, barrel, running while it's crumbling. All these towers and they're babbling, but the baby's in the bath and the stash under the bed on my head, spinning from the circles and the puppets and the strings that they pull, then we move. Reactionary warfare never produces winners on the field. Feeble and foolish, what tools and what weapons are we using? We need some new ones. Real revolution, it's real solutions. What we've taken on the ways of the ones who conquer with their guns and religion and division. Got my inner me looking like my enemy. Real revolution, where my inner me really a mirror for the galaxy. New time, brand new paradigms, new contracts to sign. They thought that this would all be televised, though it's happening right before our very eyes. It's on the inside, with their guns cocked. When that rock drops, standing on the rooftop, praying that the mountaintop can live inside the valley. People tell me the reward is somewhere off in heaven, like heaven's only in the sky, like chariots are swinging, like God is something separate from yourself, from your wealth, from your lover, from your neighbor. Oh, your savior is coming in your own name, coming with the face the same. Real revolution, it's real solutions. Where we've taken on the ways of the ones who conquer with their guns and religion and division. Got my inner me looking like my enemy. Real revolution, where my enemy is really a mirror for the galaxy. And so we lock, stock, barrel, running while it's crumbling. All these towers and they're babbling, but the baby's in the bath and the stash under the bed. Oh, my head spinning from the circles and the puppets and the strings they pull, then we move. Reactionary warfare never produces winners on the field. Feeble and foolish, what tools and what weapons are we using? We need some new ones. It's real revolution, producing real solutions. Because we've taken on the ways of the ones who conquer with their guns and religion and division. Real revolution, where my enemy is really a mirror for the galaxy.